Hey guys, welcome back to Restore the Republic, where you're going to find out what's true. Well, we got a doozy for you today. A lot of things going on. The world as you know it is getting crazier and crazier. The United States of America is pulling the wool over your eyes. You know, there's a sheriff down in Butler County, Ohio. His name's Richard Jones. And he's saying that, well, he had a conference on the news and on YouTube that he was saying he had a big meeting with a lot of the sheriffs around the United States with the FBI. And as soon as I heard that, I already knew, okay, something's up, because we all trust the FBI and we all know how the FBI runs roughshod and just does the craziest shit unimaginable. So what this Richard Jones was saying, Sheriff Richard Jones, already had my antennas up thinking, what is this clown trying to say? And what was he trying to say? He was trying to say that the problems are coming here. The immigrants that cross the border illegally, they're here. You're saying the FBI is saying something massive is going to happen. Well, I'm pretty sure that we all feel something's going on. You know, something's really wrong. Something's messed up. We didn't need a sheriff to tell us that. But what I find is crazy is this sheriff is down in Butler County. Butler County is right next to Cincinnati. They're in another county, but it's right down there. And Cincinnati's been a sanctuary city for so many years. Why didn't they say anything then? Why weren't they warning the people then? Who knows? But it seems fishy to me, you know. And then he started talking about 9/11 and how the same people that are trying to come in now were the people that perpetrated the stuff on 9/11. And once again, it just blew me out of the water. Because terrorists did not take down the trade centers. If you believe that they did, you're sadly mistaken. That was perpetrated by your own government. That's my opinion anyways, and there's a lot of proof to it. But, you know, then he started saying that the Russians has attacked their infrastructure, has attacked their computers in Butler County, and supposedly he had some proof of it, or, you know, I don't know, he didn't show, but that's what he's saying, that the Russians attacked Butler County. I don't believe that one bit. I think that's about the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know, then he started talking about the Russians attacked Butler County just like they attacked the elections back in 2016. Well, what's crazy is it's out there. It's on the internet. Everybody can look it up. The Russians did not interfere with the elections in 2016. You know, they were saying there was this hack by the Russians. Well, it was pretty obvious when the information came out. And they did some studies on the time it took for these computers to be hacked and the information to get to Russia, that it didn't add up. Russia didn't hack the DNC computers. But what they did come up with was the time length that it took to, they said the hack occurred, is someone did it at a computer right in Washington, D.C., and the time length was connected to like a USB port. So they just downloaded the information on USB port. That was the attack. That was the they stole the information. And his name was Seth Rich. It was a kid from Washington, D.C. He was a DNC staffer. He's the one that did it. Russia didn't do it. Seth Rich did it. So all this crazy shit they're talking about is so far off and so manipulative to make you think things that aren't actual or factual. It just blows me away. It blows me away that I think they're thinking people forget about this stuff, or people don't do the research, or, it's insane. But back to Seth Rich, after he downloaded the DNC information, after he did the cyber attack, they're saying, a few days later, he mysteriously was shot in Washington, D.C., and they never found out the people that did it. Oh, they had some clues. They were saying they were MS-13 gang members from I think Central America. But so all that stuff about Russian hacking and is all BS. So how this sheriff in Butler County, Ohio, can say that? Well, it makes sense once he says they were talking with the FBI, because all that ties in, just a total bunch of bullshit. So now we got that going on. What else has happened here lately? We had Tucker Carlson interviewing the evil Dr. Doom in Russia, Vladimir Putin, Dr. Evil. He's so evil that all he did was sit there and tell the truth. It asked Tucker to ask the American politicians who were doing all this stuff. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. It is so crazy. But you know what? I sat there and watched that, and Putin went over, at the beginning, he went over about 1,000 years of history, of Russian history. It was a little boring, but interesting. But through that whole time, through that whole close to 1,000 years of history he went through, I sat back and thought, wow, I wonder if anybody goes through our history, the United States of America's history, and ours isn't 1,000 years or more. It's only a few hundred years. And all these videos I've made and the stuff I'm telling you and trying to teach you, it's all within a few hundred years. It's pretty easy to find. You just got to look for it. You got to hunt for it, and it's there. And all the craziness that has been happening, all these things that in our history, from them illegally, unlawfully converting you into U.S. citizens, and then making up a 14th Amendment that pretty much basically makes you a U.S. citizen. And the U.S. government is a foreign government. It's chartered by England. How many times on these videos have I told you, and I don't think it gets across to people, that if you're a U.S. citizen, you are not part of the American government. You're not part of we the people. We the people, the Americans that gave the contract to our employees, the Constitution for the United States of America. 1787. That's where we started. So look this stuff up. People, I know it's getting crazier and crazier, and no one's coming to help. No one's coming to save you. That Sheriff Richard Jones from Butler County, he ain't saving nobody. His officers ain't saving nobody. When the shit goes down, you need to save yourself. You need to get with your communities, your friends, your family. Now, you need to start planning, prepping Be ready for things. He even said on his interview that you could either do two things. I forget what one was, but the other was you could do like the Israelis did and sit down in the basement and wait for him to come and take you as hostage. Well, let me remind you that the United States of America and Ohio in general, since he's from Butler County, Ohio, we're way different than Israel. Because when they come, you're going to be in the basement with AK-47s, AR-15s, pistols. We can defend ourselves. So, take some of this into your heart, into your mind, do some studying, and join us. Join the American government, the unincorporated land and soil jurisdiction government. Become free again. Get away from them foreign governments that do not have your interest at heart. You know, this is an election year. So, just common sense. Just because it's election year, why do they have to continuously make things happen? You know, there'll be mass shootings, there'll be this, there'll be that. And it's all planned. My 2 cents is, you know, look what happened to the 2020 election. It's going to happen again, folks. It's going to happen again. And you're going to be mad and you're going to be going, what can I do? Well, what you can do is get away from all that corporate bullshit and start to self-govern. Join your American government and get back to where it's supposed to be. Self-governing, friends, family, community. So keep studying. Join your assembly. They're in every state. Land and soil jurisdiction, unincorporated. And get busy. God bless.